All right, hello everyone. So I wanted to take a second to show you how we're going to finish off our lab report for our NMR lab. Like we did with IR, we're going to make very nice, neat labeled tables that are made in Word. We'll do a different table for each one of our compounds. So here's my example table here for acetone. I've got my table number, right, like we would like if it was in a formal lab report. But what I also want to do is to be able to add my image of acetone, of my labeled molecule, into this document as well. All right, so that's what I want to show you how to do. Remember, we're not able to grab any images offline. We have to create these images, and we want these images to look good, right? So basically, a basic skill that we need is how to put a pretty looking molecule in a lab report. So that's what I want to show you how to do real quick. I have my table built up. Now I need to put in my pretty molecule of acetone. I don't want it to be like a hand-drawn molecule. I want it to look professional. So there are a number of different molecular drawing programs that you could use. What I'm going to show is our SmartWorks homework system, because everybody has access to this. Truthfully, you could Google, you can find a lot of different programs, but I know everybody can access SmartWorks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my molecule of acetone. I'm going to be picky. I like it facing upwards. Okay. Got my lone pairs on there. All right, so how am I going to put this into my Word document? The key here is we're going to screenshot a bunch. That's going to be a very easy little trick that you can do to move an image from one program into another. So I'm going to screenshot this acetone molecule here. Depending on whether you use a Mac or a PC, the buttons might be a little bit different. I specifically chose a form of screenshot that saves it to my clipboard, so I can go and paste it into my document here. All right. I'm actually going to go one step further, though, because I want to label my image here in order to which group of hydrogens correspond to. In this case, acetone, remember, only has that one peak. But still, I should label these two groups of hydrogens here with peak A. So how am I going to do it? You can do it in Word, and it's a huge pain in the ass. Word is terrible with images. So what I'm going to do instead is I like to use PowerPoint. If you ever saw me write an exam, I use both a Word document, which is where I'm making your exam, but then I also have a corresponding PowerPoint file that has all the images that I've created for that exam. PowerPoint just makes working with images a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I have my molecule in here. I'm going to add in a text box with that label, my peak label, peak A. So that would be this group of hydrogens here, as well as, this group of hydrogens here. So now I've labeled my structures here, or rather labeled my structure with those peaks. So now how am I going to get this into my Word document? I'm again just going to take advantage of screenshotting. So I'm going to screenshot now my labeled molecule, and I'm going to paste it into my document. Okay, we can resize, make it look good, all that sorts of stuff. We could just keep going. We could add another table underneath this and just keep going. I will just give you one more like pro tip here. When you're working with pictures, sometimes the easiest thing to do is to format it in this in front of text format. The reason for that is it lets you just move it wherever you want in the document without like trying to auto format around. So I have this nice white space over here that I could take advantage of and put my image. If I did want to put it underneath here, I could do that, but it just makes it a lot easier to move that image around without everything else getting changed. So if we put it in front of text, here's my nice labeled image. And now I can move on to table 2 for whatever my other compound is and keep going. All right. So that's how we're going to put an image into our into our Word files, where we have this nice, neat, professionally drawn molecule labeled with those corresponding peak IDs.